Hi, this is Patrick with Trusty Huckster Mercantile with an update video for my Just One More Dachshund Rescue fundraiser. As promoted earlier, I was running a promotion during the month of December that any sale on my Etsy shop, TH Mercantile, Trusty Huckster Mercantile, any item that was sold on the shop that had a dog in it, was of a dog, somehow was related to a dog, 10% of the sale price would be donated to the Just One More Dachshund Rescue, JOMDR.org. So I just created this little video as a summary for what happened throughout the month of December. I was able to sell 14 individual items on my Etsy shop that qualified for the fundraiser. The total value of those orders was $270. Because I had referenced the fundraiser would give 10%, that would be a $27 check going to JOMDR. I'll be rounding that to 30 and be making a donation of $30 to the Just One More Dachshund Rescue. And this is just a quick video that breaks down the 14 items that were sold and what they sold for, and the 10% included, it was 10% of the total price, which included shipping. So it wasn't as much as I hoped to be able to donate, but I'm thrilled to be able to make some sort of a donation and thank all of you for participating in the fundraiser, whether you knew you were participating or not. By purchasing an item through my shop, check will be made to the JOMDR Rescue, and hope it helps cover some expenses going forward. Best of luck. Here's how the fundraiser broke down. So this is the first item that I'm including in the sale and promotion for the Just One More Dachshund Rescue fundraiser. It technically came in at the very end of November, and I'd mentioned this in an earlier video. I had started talking about the fact I was going to do the 10% fundraiser in the same weekend that this order came in. It had not been my intention to start it till December 1st, but this did end up being the largest or most valuable item that I sold, and I felt guilty that somebody might have purchased it thinking that 10% of the purchase would be donated. So I am going to go ahead and include it. It originally listed for $45. It's a Penco planter, but it was running during the Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale that I did, which was 20% off. So technically $36 is what this sold for. So $3.60 will be donated to JOMDR as a result of the purchase of this planter. And not surprising, once the December 1st official start date hit, the very first item that I sold was a dachshund, since it is the Just One More Dachshund Rescue. I'm assuming many of the people who follow JOMDR are also Dachshund lovers themselves. So this was an unmarked dachshund in a bisque porcelain. It did not have the shiny glaze. And again, it was unmarked. It sold for $15, including shipping. But again, I'm making my 10% donation based on total shipping or total purchase price, including the shipping. So $1.50 will be donated to JOMDR as a result of the purchase of this dachshund figurine. The second order that came in was also dachshund figurine. This one was lighter colored. It was also unmarked, but of the had the higher gloss glaze. It also sold for $15. The next order went out, or next dog that went out, was a greyhound. I was never 100% clear what he was made of. I thought he was kind of a resin. You can see on the bottom there's a little bit of striation of where he was polished down. So I wasn't 100% sure. I even put in the write-up resin question mark. He had no other marks. Just a good-looking greyhound, and he also sold for $15. The next piece was one of my favorites. It was a white dachshund pincushion. The little flowers that separated the pincushion were in perfect condition, but I wasn't 100% positive that his paint job was correct. He still had black in his eyes, but it seemed like, based on the coloring of the rest of it, that there would have been at least some color maybe on the nose and on the mouth. And I felt a little guilty on that I wasn't sure he was in perfect condition. So I tried to describe it as best I could and took the best pictures. Probably was worth a little bit more than what I sold him for, but I sold him for $15. So $1.50 from this purchase will also be donated to JOMDR. The next item moved into the hunting group. I thought it was a spaniel, some sort of a hunting dog. I wasn't 100% sure. He did have the Yukagao, UCAGCO label on the bottom from Japan, so he did have a label to him. He was a decent size. He was 6 inches long, but he also sold for $15, so $1.50 from that will be donated to JOMDR. The next item was actually a magazine, which I purchased specifically because it had the little dachshund on the cover. This I was actually intrigued by the review that the buyer was kind enough to post on this item, saying that he had been looking for this magazine for 2 years in order to give as a gift. And so I'm fascinated by the idea that he would have known that this magazine existed, yet he had not had a copy of it. So I don't know how he would have found if he'd just seen the cover somewhere. So I was thrilled that somebody had found it, that had actively been looking for it, probably purchased it without having any idea that a portion of the proceeds was going to go to JOMDR. This one, it only sold for $10, which I was a little under what it should have gone, because I initially intended to ship it media mail. Unfortunately, the shipping program that I use, Pirate Ship, does not have media mail as an option because they don't offer a discounted version off of it. So, to be perfectly honest, I was too lazy to try and go into the U.S. Postal Service website and figure it out on my own. So I probably spent a couple dollars more in postage than I had intended. But still, it's a $10 purchase, so $1 from the purchase of this will be donated to a JOMDR. This next item was actually a piece of chalkware I had picked up at a flea market, specifically as I was trying to build up my collection for this promotion. Not a dachshund, but a great looking Cocker Spaniel, maybe an Irish setter. I wasn't sure, but I was pretty sure it was a Cocker Spaniel. I'm not overly familiar with chalkware. It was a smaller piece that was very clearly marked, and I really liked the fact that it was also clearly marked from the date. So it was from the 50s, and it was in super good condition. You can see the back is a little bit chewed up, but the front was absolutely pristine. And so he actually sold for $25, and so $2.50 from that will be going to JOMDR. The next item goes back into the hunting group. This one I'm pretty sure was a setter. But again, not positive. Maybe he was a spaniel. Trying to remember, my next door neighbor had, I want to say it was a Springer Spaniel. Name was Biscuit, and it looked kind of like this, but I couldn't 100% remember. So I tried to put as many different keywords in there that people would find it, and luckily someone did find this one. It was not marked, and so he also sold for $15, which included shipping, so $1.50 will be going to JOMDR. The next item was another bulldog, that much smaller scale. This is only 5.5 inches long. He was marked just made in Japan, did not have a maker's label on it though, and he also sold for $15. The next piece was actually something I had added to my, it was one of the earlier pieces I'd added to Etsy. It was a piece of chalkware I picked up, a decent sized figurine, 6 3/4 inches tall, that had a dog in the figurine. So as I had promised or promoted for the JOMDR promotion or fundraiser, anything with a dog in it qualified as having a donation made for him. This item was marked made in England. It actually did say hopeful on the bottom, and then had this really weird fox-looking mark, which I never did figure out who that was. But the chalkware piece sold for $20, which included shipping, so $2 is going to JOMDR for that. The next item, the next 3 items actually all were sold together as one large order. and they were all dachshunds. So this one was the Lefton dachshund, again a good sized dachshund, almost 7 inches long, 4 inches tall. He sold for $25. The next one was labeled another dachshund. He was labeled a Nesco, not quite as large. He was only 5 inches long and only 2.5 inches tall, but he was also clearly marked and in a great condition. The label was a little bit chewed up, but the figurine itself was in perfect condition. And then probably one of my favorite pieces that, had it not sold, I would have been perfectly happy to put that on keep this on my dresser, was the dresser valet, which after posting and learning more about it, I guess this little center section is a wallet. I do happen to know this is going to the home of a woman, and I don't know if she's got a wallet she's going to put in there, or she's just going to use it for decoration, or she's going to maybe turn it into a planter. But it was a very nice sized piece, an absolutely excellent condition. And because it was pretty hefty, it actually sold for $30 because, again, the $30 included shipping. So that one order alone, we had 25 and 19, so we're at 44 plus 30, we're at 74. So $7.40 from that order will be going to JOMDR. So of all of the items that were sold, $270 worth of quote-unquote dog items were sold during the month, or in the period I'm covering for the fundraiser. Included that one item that popped in the end of November. So a donation, calculating 10% of that makes it $27. I will be rounding that up to an even 30, and so a check for $30 will be made to Just One More Dachshund Rescue, which hopefully will maybe cover a couple months worth of medicine, or maybe a couple of dogs, some dog food. So not as much as I had hoped to be able to collect, but appreciate all the people who had made purchases during the promotion. And even if you made a purchase and didn't even know about the promotion, realize that that money is going to an absolutely good cause. And if you are interested in learning more about it, it's Just One More Dachshund Rescue, which is JOMDR.org. They are an organized 501c3 charity, and any donations you make on your own will be well appreciated. And if you are in the Maryland or East Coast area, you may want to get on a list if you're interested in fostering. They specialize obviously in dachshunds, and they also specialize in senior rescue. So great cause, and support them, and hopefully the $30 will be able to be put to good use. I'm sure it will. So thanks a lot for watching another video, and I will talk to you again soon. This is Patrick with Trusty Huckster Mercantile.
Check out this glass they have in the windows. We've got a 5-finger vase. Now, these 5-finger vases, my understanding is that they are not actually made by L.E. Smith or Viking. They are the 5-finger vase.